A few years ago, I decided to go to an outlet store to shop for all my holiday presents, including something for myself. All right, I think y'all know me too well. You got me, mostly for myself. I remember this one bin in the middle of the store where they have the most discounted items, and everyone was crowded around it, grabbing as much as they can, as if they were playing that bobbing for apples game. It wasn't even free, people. You still have to pay for the darn things that you grab, right? Now, I must say, as an introvert who gets claustrophobic at times, it was my worst nightmare come true. Add to that the crowded parking lot to get in and out of and all that honking. I just about had it. I wanted to hashtag cancel Christmas right then and there. Nobody needs those gifts that have been tainted with all that bad vibe anyway, I thought to myself. I need a silent night. I can't even hear the angels sing. You know, the ones that they talk about, the ones who are singing up on high somewhere, right? Can't even hear that. Is it too much to ask for silence this time of year? Perhaps. For some of you, it might not even be all that shopping that bothers you, but perhaps it's what's going on in our world with so many conflicts and war taking place. Or perhaps it's the political uncertainty. And it's not even just down south that we're talking about, because here in Canada, we're not immune to that political uncertainty as well. Or even closer to home, it could be the family drama. I know many of you have mentioned the joys of spending time in your with your family, but for others, there may be the dread of the impending family drama. And some of you may be saying, what do you mean? Just one family drama? It's certainly more than that. And all the get-togethers and all the extra expenses that entails, on and on it goes, like Santa's list, right? Except this one is not necessarily the list that we want to find hanging on our stockings. How do we go about finding Christmas peace? How do we find a stillness and hold that stillness this time of year? One strategy I've used is to call it quits on commercialism. I told my family after that horrible mess in that shopping bin that we're going to stop giving each other gifts unless it's something that we found throughout the year somewhere, maybe during one of our travels that we thought that the other person might really like or that I'd really like. So, no pressure. Let's give up on all the commercialism that goes around during the holidays because we're grown-ups anyway. Those nibblings, however, my nieces and nephews, well, of course they should get something, right? But for the rest of us adults, the best gift we could give ourselves is peace and quiet. So after that, we kept our gatherings small and intimate, realizing that the best gift we could have given each other was our presence. The present moment is really the best present we could offer one another, with every pun intended. I know it, that brought a smile to your face, Yvonne. Another great strategy might be, as Jules and Wendell Berry and John Steinbeck pointed out, was to go out in nature to find your quiet center. I've sat under those redwood trees that John Steinbeck was describing, and I'm sure a few of you have as well. Yes, redwood trees, few nods, including this picture here that Matt will pull up. So on your left there is General Sherman Tree at Sequoia National Park, and that measures 84 meters. That's my younger sister in that picture, by the way, a few years ago. So she's so small compared to that giant tree. I couldn't even get to the leaves. That's just part of the trunk of General Sherman there. So as you could tell, you cannot even take a picture of it and still convey the immensity of this tree. Trust me, I've tried. The one next to it is just another tree, actually, and that's not even capturing the magnificence and the grandeur of that tree. Quite literally, the tallest living tree on earth. You could only bear witness to it with silence and awe. So that's perhaps the best way to show respect to the grandeur of Mother Nature is with our silence. We were talking last week about a response to awe and wonder, and one of them being silence, right? As we run out of thoughts that run through our heads, as we run out of um, things to buy or people to please, that's when we are stilled into silence. Part of our gift economy is to simply enjoy the honorable harvest that you received this year, including the harvest of beauty. And guess what? It's even cheaper than anything you could buy at that outlet store. But this gift will last us a lifetime. If you're saying, what do you mean go out in nature? Baby, it's cold outside. That song, by the way, am I the only one who finds it a little creepy and non-consensual? Yeah, a few of you do as well, right? Anyway, there's plenty of indoor activities that will similarly induce that sense of awe and wonder that leads to silence, like the winter solstice service that Tanya mentioned the other night that a few of you were a part of. I was so grateful to have four worship leaders bring those readings to life, each in their own unique voices, and to have all four of them stand in the four different directions and four corners of the room at St. Matt's. And those moments of silence in between the readings and that ethereal harp that Charlene played just got to me. And it got me where I needed to be that very night. It got me to a place where I encountered sacred mystery. And I must admit, I lost it when the candles were lit. And I lost it partly in part, and what brought me to silence, I must admit, was partly due to my fear that the one piece of drip paper that was attached to the candle might light on fire once the wax burns down. I know a couple of you probably share the same anxiety with me, but thankfully, the service ended before that happened. Hallelujah and blessed be. But seriously, the silence inducing awe of the radiant glow of the candles in that dark room, that reminded me of the power of the group of people who were gathered there, shining their light together to one another and sharing that light with each other, and how much more luminescent that light is when when it's next to other candles and other lights. So even without the candles, each of us represents that light. That was nothing short of magical for me, which leads me to my third strategy, because ever wonder why Irving Berlin wrote that song about counting blessings instead of sheep in that movie, White Christmas? No, the wondering isn't about what's a nice Jewish boy doing writing a Christmas song, right? No, that's not the wondering. The wondering is about the point of that music or that song during Christmas. And I believe it's to take an inventory this time of year of everything that we have to be grateful for. And I bet that after we go through our list, it'll lull us into silence and we eventually fall asleep from that. Works better than popping an Ambien, I tell you. That moment of counting our blessings until we fall asleep. I encourage you to try it sometime, but not right this very minute. This is one of those activities where I say, kids, feel free to try this at home sometime. I do, however, still in the spirit of that, want to take this opportunity to name a few blessings myself. Since this is my last Sunday sermon with you for 2024. I'm not leaving, by the way, just to be clear. Don't go around spreading that fake news. But on top of my list is the Interim Minister Search Task Force, which has been a huge blessing to this congregation for the past couple of years. Can I get an amen to that? I'm not sure if any of you could truly appreciate how frustrating it must have been last year when they weren't able to find a match and an interim. But again, thankfully, we were able to find each other this year. Yay. Thank you so much, Interim Minister Search Task Force, for such a warm welcome. And really, all of you, especially for putting together those community explorations that I enjoyed immensely earlier this fall. I'm so grateful for also the co-chairs who took on an almost part-time job to make all of this work, not just serving as co-chair, but taking time out of their already full lives and also to their partners because they've attended so many meetings, running those board meetings or those extra meetings on top of that to make sure that we're financially sustainable so that we could get through that finishing line with our construction work. Thank you so much to the board and to the co-chairs. And speaking of construction, I see you building renovation folks, especially current Karen Dunk Green, who thought that she had somehow retired, but still she managed to put on that hard hat and took on not just this huge undertaking with the building renovation project, but also with the heavy lifting as chair of the transition task force. That whole task force, by the way, has been phenomenal to work with so far. You'll be hearing more from them in the near future, and so much learning and gratitude going on there. Another group I work closely with day in and day out is our dedicated staff who have gone above and beyond their call of duty to be as flexible as possible during this prolonged period of change. They are truly the wind beneath my wings. Indeed, grateful for our staff. And again, I don't want to go through every single program and ministry group like the worship leaders and the spiritual care team and all our social justice teams because we'd be here for hours. But I just want to say thank you to all of you who have hung in there. I know it gets so confusing about where we're meeting next, for example. Is it going to be NIA, Neighborhood, St. Matt's, St. Internet? There's so many places where we have gathered together. You have all shown up for our game nights and social opportunities and our choir rehearsals. And when people are sick, you have shown up to their homes with casseroles in tow and a funny story or two to share with one another. That's what a real caring community looks like. Each of you has been a blessing to me and to one another. How fun it has been to count our blessings instead of sheep. First, you're the best. I am so looking forward to 2025 and all the blessings that will continue to come our way. I do hope you know that I keep all of you in my prayers, not only for the gratitude part, but for whatever challenges you may be facing as well. I pray for peace each and every single day for ourselves and for this fragile world where we live in every single night. Again, these are my three strategies for finding awe-inducing silence, and I'm sure that's not even an exhaustive list. Number one, to opt out of consumerism. Number two, to get in touch with the natural world. And number three, to count your blessings instead of sheep. I hope you too will find strategies to usher in a silent night and a holy night this holy season. So why not begin by doing so now? Let's take a few deep breaths in silent reflection.